Hey Juicers, welcome back to Harley Throttle Juice. What's the first thing you notice? Yeah, of course, you can see through the screen, and that's because I'm not on Lemmy at the moment. I'm actually on a 2021 Harley Davidson Softail Heritage Classic. 114 cubic inch, stage 1 upgrade. I've only been on the bike a few minutes, just getting my feel for it. I'm taking it for a test run today because if you've seen our last episode, you would know that the Softail Heritage Classic is in the mix somewhat as a consideration for a potential new bike purchase for me. So very keen to see how it feels on the road. I kind of like how it looks in brochures and in other people's videos, but until you're on it yourself, right, you just don't know. First impressions, yeah, Softail frame a little bit shorter, and therefore I am a touch more cramped than I am on the Street Glide Special that I own, but not too uncomfortable. I could do it. And the seat, the stock seat that's on this is comfy, but it kind of feels like, it's obviously not in this shape, but it kind of feels like it's in a V shape and I'm trapped in the middle of it. But then again, I am on a shorter frame bike and I am 6'3", so therefore that's going to play a role in the feel of that seat also. But in terms of overall ride comfort, it's a very, very comfortable bike. The springs, the stock suspension that you get on the Softail Heritage Classic actually has an improved or better spring rate than what's on the Street Glide Special that I own. So it is definitely a spongier feel as far as stock is concerned. No, it's still not perfect. No stock Harley suspension is, but it's an improvement on the Street Glide Special, let me tell you that. This screen in front of me, I kind of thought it would be a little bit taller, but it's probably tall enough. Yeah, I'm looking at that now in line with where it sits with my helmet, and I'm not expecting too much, if any, buffering over the top of that screen. As I said in the Should I Upgrade video, the thing I like about the Softail Heritage Classic screen as opposed to the stock Road King screen is that the bottom half of the screen on this one is blacked out, as you can see. So it gives it a real, well, the Road King has a retro look anyway, but it gives it a real mean metro look as far as I'm concerned. And this is the 2021 version, so this has mostly chrome around the engine and the pipes. The new 2022 range, you can get a blacked out version of this. Oh my, look at what Mrs. Brooks from Harley Throttle Juice is on today. She's on a 2020 Harley Davidson Lowrider S with Two Brothers racing pipes, and it sounds like a frickin' beast. I've got to say, I have not felt any buffering above my shoulders and up in the helmet area, so this screen is doing a fantastic job. And remember that I'm 6'3". You know, for anyone 6'3" and under, you're not going to get belted around above the shoulders on a Softail Heritage Classic. Doing a fantastic job, really impressed with that. And overall, you know, the seat could be just a tad more comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable. And I'm really enjoying riding this, I really am. Of course, I've still got the floorboards, so that's a familiar feet position for me. These are the stock bars. I actually like the height of them. If I had stock bars on a bike like this, I would push them forward at least a couple of inches, maybe even as much as 3 or 4 inches. And I prefer thicker steel. But But in terms of the height, very, very comfortable straight out of the factory. The other thing, of course, is that they do not come stock with highway bars. So I'm sure that there's something that could be fashioned in order for people that are my height or thereabouts to extend their legs out, you know, attach highway pegs to something. There's always, where there's a will, there's a way, but it doesn't come stock with highway bars because it's not in the touring range, of course. It is a Softail. It is in the Softail range. But that's one of the other things that you would need to strongly consider if and when you're going to purchase the Softail Heritage Classic. Okay, let's take a run through Yarramalong and up Bumble Hill. Let's get some scenery happening, eh? Yeah, that seat position, I'm going to coin a new phrase here in terms of adjectives used for motorbike seat comfort. I'm going to say that this stock seat, I'm not going to complain about it too much, but it's definitely coital. In that I mean that because of the position of it and where I'm forced to sit, it puts a certain amount of pressure on a certain area and straight into your tailbone. So I'm declaring the Heritage Softail Classic seat for someone my size, coital. Yeah, really enjoying this ride. Not as comfortable as my overall as my Street Glide Special, but that's just because I have a familiarity with my current bike. But this, of course, is a little lighter, a little more nimble, extremely easy to throw around, very, very smooth and light and controlled through the corners. As I said, a different spring rate when compared to my touring model bike. So a little spongier on the suspension and a little spongier on the seat, but the way that the seat's configured and shaped, it just doesn't totally suit me. But again, not a big thing. A lot of people swap out seats. But very, very smooth through particular bits of road like this. And I would recommend this bike, depending on your size, both your height and your weight and where you want to ride and how you want to ride. This bike won't disappoint you if you choose to purchase one. Plenty of power, 114 cubic inch. This has got the stage 1 upgrade. It'll be even beastier with a stage 2 upgrade. Some dark, ominous rain clouds hovering above. Stay away, boys, stay away. And up Bumble Hill we go. And we don't get back without being pelted by rain. There is a lot of blue sky around over to the left. Not sure if you can see that or not, but we're obviously directly under a rain cloud because it is pissing down right now. Okay, so my overall thoughts and summary of the Harley Davidson Softail Heritage Classic, bearing in mind that I'm on a 2021 model today. The 2022s are out and are all blacked out, but nevertheless, pretty much the same representation. I think a great bike. Bear in mind I'm 6'3" and weighing at about 106, 107 kilos at the moment, so I am slightly uncomfortable, only slightly, because of the fact that it's a shorter Softail frame and the seat configuration and shape just isn't right for me, but that doesn't detract from the bike. It's a very, very comfortable and smooth bike. Obviously a lot lighter than the Street Glide Special. Extremely nimble, extremely light, extremely flickable. It's got a 114 cubic inch motor. This one happens to have a stage 1 upgrade, so it's pretty zippy, more than enough power. I love the beautiful vintage retro look of the bike. This screen that you're looking at in front of me is completely detachable, so you can take it off and ride into the wind with the LED headlight and running lights or running lamps beside it on full view or in full view. And I just love it. The black leather panniers, I'm not totally in love with those, and they certainly have a lot less room inside them than the touring bike panniers, but I'm sure that in most cases it's more than enough. So, you know, who is this bike made for? Well, it's not a touring frame, but you could certainly do, depending on your height and weight and whatnot, you could certainly do a lot of touring on this. Weekenders away and within a couple of 100 kilometres from your house, no brainer. So I think it largely comes down to how you want the bike to look and what's your height and weight. But I think the Softail Heritage Classic by Harley Davidson is a fantastic bike and well worth a purchase if you decide to do it. So I'm going to pull over here shortly, and I'm going to actually jump on the lowrider S that Rochelle's on at the moment and take that back to the dealership. So stay tuned for just a little bit more footage, but this time on the lowrider S. Well, there we have it. That's the end of the test ride for the Harley Davidson Softail Heritage Classic. As I said, it was a 2021 model, but pretty much the same thing. Just wanted to get a touch and feel for it and a sense of what it's like. As I said, I really enjoyed the ride. Not sure that I would prefer it over a Street Glide or a Street Glide Special or CBO Street Glide. Time will tell, but it's still in the mix as far as I'm concerned. It has enough going for it for me to strongly consider it. And as I've said previously, I certainly wouldn't suggest buying a bike based on price alone. But if you throw price into the assessment or the review, it's certainly a major factor when compared to a touring frame or a touring model. So anyway, it is nice to be back on the Street Glide Special as we cruise on back home. So anyway, I'll say thanks for watching. Please feel free to add your comments below on your own thoughts about the Heritage Softail Classic. If you've ridden one, how did you feel on it? Have you seen one in the flesh? What do you think it looks like? Do you think it's a viable alternative? All that sort of stuff. Really appreciate you doing that if you've got some thoughts on it. Appreciate your support for our humble little channel. We'll catch you next time on Harley Throttle Juice. See you guys.